Listen, man, it's your boy Crypto Heavy. I want to start off by saying, first and foremost, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is a regular dude that talk about crypto, finance, blockchain, geopolitical, all that shit. But I have been seeing a ton of influencers, like a ton of new people, old people, all kind of people that's been talking about like the crypto market. And I think that people get this illusion, right? That like, you see this crypto influencer and they say, oh man, I started with like $15, $20 and I dropped it into this token. And now look at me. I got this Ferrari. I got this nice house. I got all of these things, right? The Rolex watch and all that. And to be honest, man, it's a lot of cap. Like, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I hate to break your and hurt your feelings, but that's cap. What you don't see when you see successful people who make money, is that they had to go through years of the struggle, years of like discipline, years of like things not working out the way they do. With markets like crypto and stocks and stuff like that, the number go up and the number go down. So like you look like a genius when the number go up and you look like a fool when the number go down. But the only thing about the markets that you can really say that's the most important is time in the market. Time in the market is the most important thing, because the more time that you're in the market, the more you get educated, the more cycles you go through, the more opportunities you give yourself, and to be able to see that like, hey, this was a mistake in this investment thesis, but now I can adjust and pivot and learn from that mistake. And that goes for small business, that goes for, investments, that goes for real estate, that goes for all things that where you make money, right? You have to understand that like, hey, it's an opportunity that you can lose everything. That's why you don't put more money that you are afraid to lose. It's just like going to the casino. It's just like going anywhere else. But what I will say is that if you keep a long-term narrative around crypto, especially because that's what I invest in, then you got to think that over time, you will see the progression of your portfolio grow, right? That's time in the market. If you looking for a quick fix, then this ain't it. And if you think that your favorite influencer was just in it for 6 months and they now a millionaire, then you getting played for the fool, because that ain't the thing. You have to think like the most successful people. You got to have discipline, you got to have time, and you got to save. If you looking for your future, right, you need to be able to have discipline enough to save. You have to have discipline enough to invest. You have to have discipline enough to have the know-how to know that it's going to be times that's hard. It's going to be times where it ain't working out the way you want, but you got a goal in mind, so you got to go get it. So you have to keep that in mind. The other thing you got to think about is like, you got to start early. And if you didn't start early, then you got to start now. Okay? You got to start now. Like, the thing that people always look at is that as you get older, you look back and you like, man, if I'd have did this 5 years ago, 10 years ago, where would I be? Well, start now. Start now investing, start now in saving, start now in planning for your future. The goal of everything that we do in life is to, when you get older, you can live a comfortable life. Whatever your comfortable life is, that's on you. You got to decide that. So if you know where your comfortable life is, you got to start today to plan for that. And you got to give yourself a 10-year horizon. So in your 20s, you need to be disciplined. You need to be saving. You need to be investing. So in your 30s, you can live the life that you want to live. In your 30s, if you want to say, hey, cool, I fucked off in my 20s. In my 30s, you need to be disciplined. You need to be able to save. You got to be able to invest and know what you're investing in. So by your 40s, you can live the life you want to live. If you said, man, you know what, I fucked off in my 20s, man, 30s, I was still figuring it out. In my 40s, I'm going to get to it. So that in my 50s, I can live a comfortable life. And you got to be able to save. You got to be able to invest, and you got to be able to be disciplined to know what the goal is, so that when your time comes, when you achieve what your goal is, what your comfortable life is, then you know that you put in the work the last 10 years. It didn't happen overnight. It never does. It's never overnight. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the time. You got to be disciplined in whatever your goal is. But it starts with you, because a lot of people look at wealthy people, people that's rich, and they be like mad at them, jealous at them, envious of them. Like all they do is brag, and they on trips, and they always doing all this stuff. And look at them. They think they all that. You jealous. Because inside of you, you know that The time that they was going in, sacrificing, being disciplined, grinding, hustling, fucking saving, investing, trying to do better for themselves, you was all fucking off. And you was like, man, I'll do that later. Now it's later. And now your knees hurt, got shoulder pain, you gotta wake up in the morning, your back hurt, you like, I hate this fucking job. But you gotta go to work. Because the time that you needed to be locked in, disciplined, doing what you were supposed to do, you was living for the Joneses. I say all that to say that I ain't being harsh. I'm just saying that you got to understand that, like, the people that make it, you need to be looking at what they do, because it's always a blueprint, right? It's a blueprint of what people do. It don't change. Making money is easy. And I know people say, like, oh man, making money ain't easy. It's easy to say that because Nah, making money is easy. You got to think about it. And I say that because money is a tool. Okay? Money is an item that you use to prepare yourself for a more comfortable life in the future. Let me say that again. Money is a tool. You use that tool to invest. You use that tool to save money. You use that tool to grow your business. You use that tool to make sure that you set yourself up so that in your latter part of your life, you can live comfortable. And the people that utilize that tool to get the items they need to invest. So if you want to go out and be the #1 social media person, you got to start now. If you got a small business that you're looking to do, start now. If you're looking to start investing and trying to figure out your future, you need to start now. Because the tool is only useful if you put it into work. If you hold the tool and in your future you like, hey, I can use this to be able to retire, then that's good. But you need to be utilizing that tool in a way where you can live a more comfortable life in your future. And if you do that, when you get to that point, you will feel like you did what you were supposed to do and live that successful life. And there's always going to be people that's going to be like, oh, you got it easy. They're going to be there. It is what it is. That's how you know you made it. You know what I mean? That's how you know you made it. But if you ever thinking about starting, stop thinking and start now. Start now.